Studying abroad is not only for rich, but also for middle class family. But the problem is students just doesn't know which other countries to target other than the big countries like UK, Australia, US, Canada, and New Zealand. So today I have a special guest who will be talking about not one, two, or three, but top 10 cheapest countries which you should be targeting to study abroad, because either they have no tuition fee or very minimal tuition fee. But before I start, if you want to study in any of this listed country, make sure you fill the Google form from the links provided in my video description and my team will reach out to you. So without any further delay, let me invite my special guest, Waka Waka. Hi, Dr. Waka Waka. Welcome once again to my channel, Your Knowledge Buddy.
Thank you very much for inviting me. It's always a pleasure.
So, Dr. Waka Waka, if you don't mind, can you please introduce yourself to my audience?
Well, for those who don't know me, I've been here a few times. My name is, everyone calls me Waka Waka Doctor for obvious reasons. I'm a medical doctor who enjoys traveling. I've been to more than 70 countries now, actually 78 at the last count. And I'm a medical doctor on one hand, and I help people move abroad through job opportunities, permanent residency route, scholarship opportunities on all my social media platforms.
And that's the reason why I've invited you, because I know you had been talking about different things on your social channel, especially about students moving abroad. So my audience, when they plan to study abroad, they only target the top countries like UK, USA, Australia, Canada, New Zealand. So from your knowledge, I want to know what are the other countries that my audience should be targeting other than these countries?
Fantastic question. And this would involve us, going to town and talking so much about several countries. But before I go into that, I want to lay out a few principles that I think people should be aware of. Before you ever decide to move abroad, you have to ask yourself, why am I moving abroad? Why do I want to move abroad? Do you want to move abroad because you want a better education? Do you want to move abroad solely because you want more money? I moved abroad because of money. Do you want to move abroad because you're thinking of the future of your kids? Do you want to move abroad because you want a stronger passport? These questions you have to answer. There are several factors you also have to consider. How much money do you have in your bank account? How much are you willing to spend? Do you want to move with your family or you want to go alone? Do you want a place where you're able to work while you study? These things you have to consider. What did you graduate with? Do you want a country that would accept you irrespective of the fact that you had a second class lower or a third class or a pass, that would give you that opportunity? And so these factors would decide or determine what country you move to. Now, I'm going to mention at least 10 countries you can move to where tuition is cheaper than the UK, US, Canada, Australia, and it's going to cost you zero cost or almost zero, okay? And considering the fact that the UK has even stopped dependence from coming now, so maybe your thoughts are going to change a little bit. I'm going to start with the first one, which is Iceland. Iceland is my first one, and admissions are going to open in December. I think December 4th, that's when admissions will open. And Iceland is particularly interesting. It's going to run from December to the 4th of April, December to April. And tuition is free. You're not paying tuition at all. The only thing you have to pay is $500 for service charge and application fees. And you can work while you study for 20 hours. On the website of the schools, they will tell you that you need to have a second class upper degree to qualify or be admitted. But I'm going to tell you from experience that you should apply, because I know someone who had a second class lower degree and he applied to Iceland this year and he got in. So let it not stop you. If you believe that you want to go to Iceland, go for it. The only other thing is, depending on how well you did in your academics, your transcripts, you might not require IELTS. So IELTS is compulsory, mandatory, but if you did well, based on your transcripts, they can waive it for you. They can ask you to just sort of provide a letter of English proficiency, and that would usually suffice. The proof of funds for Iceland is usually between 9,000 to 10,000 euros. That's what you need as proof of funds. And Iceland, I love very much. So that's number one.
Are dependents allowed to come on study visa?
So dependents cannot come with you immediately, but they come with you after 6 months. So once you're in Iceland, after 6 months, you can bring your dependents with you to Iceland. Number two is Germany. Germany is still free of charge, but like I always tell people, the best time to apply is now, and the second best time to apply is now. And the reason for saying that is that policies are changing all the time. There are universities in Germany that are now introducing tuition, okay? And they're saying maybe in 2024, maybe in 2025, you might have to start paying tuition. But Germany has more than 350 universities, vocational schools, public universities, technical schools that you can apply to, and they are free. No IELTS required. You can move with your family to Germany immediately. Higher national diplomas are accepted. Second-class lower degrees are accepted. The only drawback with Germany is that during your visa process, you need to have what is called a blocked account. A blocked account means that the school will need you to open an account in Germany and transfer the equivalent of 10 to 12,000 euros into that bank account. It is still your money, but they want to be able to see it and be sure that you can take care of yourself while you are in Germany. So the idea is when you get to Germany, they will start giving it to you every month. What I've often advised people is if Germany is your choice, you can take a loan and tell the person, I'm going to give you back the money after 1 year, or I will give you, create a plan, 12-month plan, I will give you every month when I arrive in Germany. And once they give it to you, you refund it back to the person. That might work for you. So Germany is another choice. Tuition is totally free. Number three for me, it's Brazil. Brazil is also free. Tuition is free. And what Brazil says is, look, come to Brazil for 1 year. We are going to teach you Portuguese language in 1 year, and then you would learn your degree in Portuguese. So you're going to get two advantages. You're going to be able to learn a new language, and then you're going to be able to learn or earn your degree for free. Now, the good thing why I love Brazil is that if you're married, this is for married people, you can move with your family straight away. And if you're married and you give birth in Brazil, your child is going to get an immediate Brazilian passport. Okay, Brazilian passport is top 20 in the world. And you as the parents will get immediate permanent residency. And your parents also get permanent residency. So what I mean is, if I were married now, and I decide to give birth in Brazil, my child gets immediate citizenship. My wife and I will get permanent residency. Our parents would also get permanent residency. That's amazing. And then after 3 years, it's awesome. After 3 years, you become citizens in Brazil. Now, the fourth one is Austria. Austria is affordable. It's 376 euros per semester. I was able to visit one of the universities here. It's called TU Wien. Now they're thinking of changing the price of tuition to 726 per semester starting from next year. It's still a consideration. Some schools have started implementing it, but I think people should apply now. Austria is 376 euros per semester. Higher national diplomas are accepted. No IELTS requirement. And I can confirm to you, based on experience, that you can move with your family and you can work while you study. I've met several Indians here. I've met loads of Africans here. They're trooping into Austria at the moment, so I think people should take advantage. Okay, so Austria is another one that I'm going to take. The admissions usually open next year, so if you're already late, by the time you're watching this video, you're late, for the March intake, so you have to start planning now for September intake. And the process is a little bit cumbersome because you have to verify your documents. So you have to go to the Ministry of Education in your country and authenticate your document for them to say it's original. So go to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, go to the Ministry of Education in your country, let them verify your transcripts, your passport, your birth certificate, and your secondary school certificate. Once they verify that this is authentic, you go to the Austrian embassy and they will also legalize it. They just need to stamp it. And once that stamp is done, you go to www.studyinaustria.at and you apply to as many schools as you want. Some have application fees, some don't have application fees. Apply to as many as you want and you wait. They reply very fast. In 3-4 months, you can get your processing done. The fifth one I'm going to talk about is the Czech Republic. The Czech Republic is also another country that's not expensive, and tuition is usually between 900 euros to about 1,500 euros. And it's similar, it's in the same region. I think you can take a train even from Austria to Czech Republic. There's no IELTS requirement, no language requirement. If you're willing to learn in Austria, you study in Czech. If you're willing to study in Czech language, you study for free. But if you want to learn in English, then you have to pay that tuition of 900 to 1,500 euros. Now, the very good thing again about Czech Republic is that you can apply for scholarships. So they can give you 50% scholarships even on that tuition. So you would agree that that's an amazing opportunity. The next country I want to talk about is Malta. It's not free and it's not zero, almost zero, tuition, but I'm going to mention it because you have quite a lot of people who would say they want to go to only English-speaking countries. They want to go to English-speaking countries alone. They have difficulty with the language. I just want an English-speaking country, but they cannot afford Canada. They cannot afford Australia. They cannot afford New Zealand. They cannot afford the UK. And Malta is, besides the UK and the Republic of Ireland, Malta is the only English-speaking country in Europe. I visited Malta for 2 days before recording this video, and I can tell you that admissions are open right now. Tuition in Malta is between 3,000 euros if you're doing bachelor's. Bachelor's runs for 3 years. And your master's degree can be between 3,000 to 7,000 euros. You can work for 20 hours. Your family can join you after 6 to 12 months, okay, depending on how fast you get your permanent residency card. And there's no IELTS requirement as well. You can pay in installments. You can pay in 3 or 4 installments depending on your school. So Malta is a very good choice. The next country I'm going to talk about is Belgium. Okay, Belgium is another country. And the reason why I want to talk about Belgium is because Belgium allows you to pay your tuition when you arrive in Belgium. So you don't need to worry about, I don't have the money now. Don't worry about that. Get your admission, get your visa, fly to Belgium, and you can pay the first installment of your tuition when you arrive in Belgium. There are schools in Belgium that allow 7 installments, 7 installments from when you arrive in Belgium. Tuition in Belgium is as low as 1,000 euros, depending on the course you want to study. Average tuition is between 1,000 to 4,000 euros. So you should consider Belgium. The only drawback for Belgium is that IELTS is compulsory. So you must have your IELTS, and you need just IELTS of 6. So get an I6, yes, between 6 and 6.5. Get IELTS done, get all your other documents done, and you can make the application for Belgium. Okay, I've told you 7 installments. You don't need to pay your tuition until you arrive in Belgium. The next country I want to talk about is Switzerland. Switzerland tuition is as low as 900, in fact, 600 euros in Switzerland. Okay. The drawback with Switzerland is that Switzerland is expensive to live in. So if you're not sure that because they have a very high standard of living, but the government finds a way to balance it. So if you get a job in Switzerland, you're going to be paid very highly as well. So it balances that up. It's not as if you're going to be paying so much bills and you're not earning that much. You're going to be earning as much and spending as much as well. But tuition is very low as 500, 600 euros. University of Basel, for instance, is one of the universities. They don't need IELTS, okay? Another drawback is that you can only work 15 hours. You cannot work 20 hours like the other universities. You can only work 15 hours because they want you to focus on your academics, okay? But anybody can apply to Switzerland. The next country on my list is Italy. Now, Italy is so amazing because you will not find two people who pay the same tuition in Italy. Everybody pays different tuition. So you can find someone who pays tuition of 500 euros and also find someone who pays tuition of 80 euros. And I know this from experience because I have loads of people who have moved to Italy watching my videos. Now, the good thing about Italy is you can move with your family. Italy accepts second-class lower. They accept higher national diploma. There's no need for IELTS. The reason why tuition is different is because they have a process where, they charge you the tuition based on your family's socioeconomic status. So one of the procedures you have to undergo, when you apply for admission, studyinitaly.it, when you apply, one of the things you have to go through is to fill a document that explains what your family's income looks like. And if your family earns less than $500 per month equivalent, you qualify to have your tuition reduced substantially. You can pay your tuition as low as 100 euros. It could be as low as 150, 200 euros, depending on the school. Some schools will give you transportation. Some schools will feed you once a day. Some schools would, give you accommodation. So it depends on the school. And there are several schools you can apply to in Italy. There's no IELTS requirements. You can move with your family. And Italy is open right now. So this is the time to start applying to Italian schools. The last on the list that I'd love to talk about is Portugal. Tuition in Portugal is as low as 900 euros. Tuition in Portugal is as low as 900 euros. Second-class lower is accepted. Higher national diploma is accepted. You can also move with your family. Some people have found it difficult moving their families because they're not able to prove that they have enough money to take care of their families. And I love Portugal so much because, I think Portugal is underrated. And they've got, a digital nomad visa as well. Final one I'm going to talk about is Luxembourg. Okay, I'm just going to give you that bonus. Luxembourg. Tuition in Luxembourg is as low as 250 euros. Luxembourg is probably top 3 richest countries in the world. Okay, and they've got one university, well, 2 universities, but I'll talk about both of them. Now, they've got one University of Luxembourg. Tuition there is 250 euros. And they're usually opened anytime from, I think, March or April. And the requirements are all the same. You can get IELTS waivers. Tuition is cheap. But that's not the interesting one for me. I mean, anybody can apply to that. They have another university called LUNEX, okay, which is open all year round. So you can apply anytime you want. The limitation, however, is that LUNEX is only for people who are interested in tech, physiotherapy, and sports. So if you're interested in tech, physiotherapy, and sports, look up LUNEX University in Luxembourg. They are open all year round. Tuition is about 4,000 to 8,000 euros. So if you can afford that, go for it. And so these are the 10 countries that I think I should bring to you right now. And I think you should consider if you're looking to move abroad. I always tell people that you don't need to move to the UK. You don't need to move to Canada. You don't need to move to Australia if you cannot afford it. You can start small and then move to your dream place. I hope this has helped you.
Thank you very much. That was not 10, that was 11, because I was making notes when you were talking. So it's 11 countries, by the way.
11 countries,
Luxembourg was a bonus for my audience. So I cannot thank you enough. This was such an informative video for everyone. In fact, I learned so much from this video myself, and I'm sure my audience is going to love. So thank you very much, Dr. Waka Waka, for coming and recording this video. And you guys, if you're watching this video, make sure you comment below if this was informative. And if you want me to bring Waka Waka once again to cover any other topic, do comment below. Thank you very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. Thank you, Waka Waka.